Look at your bank app right now. No, really. Open it up and look at that number at the top. If you see $5,000, $10,000, or even $50,000 sitting in your primary checking account, you probably feel a sense of relief. You feel safe. You feel like you've finally built that financial cushion you've always wanted. But I'm here to tell you that in 2026, that number is a total illusion. In fact, that feeling of safety is actually a trap. While you sleep, your bank is taking your hard-earned cash and lending it out to other people at 8 or 9% interest. In return, they are paying you a pathetic 0.01%. You are effectively giving one of the richest institutions in the world a free loan while inflation quietly eats your future. In the next 8 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how the checking account trap works in this new economy. The psychological glitch in your brain that is forcing you to overspend that cash, and the 3-bucket strategy that the wealthy are using right now to keep their money liquid, safe, and earning over 5%. If you don't move your money by the end of this video, you are quite literally choosing to be poorer. Let's look at the brutal numbers of 2026. The average big bank checking account still pays almost nothing. If you have $10,000 sitting there, you are earning about $1 a year in interest. That's not even enough to buy a candy bar. Meanwhile, the cost of living, your groceries, your rent, your energy bills, is still climbing at 2 to 3% every year. This means that every single year your money stays in that checking account, it loses about $300 in actual purchasing power. You didn't spend it, but it's gone. But here's the real kicker. Right now, in 2026, the financial landscape has shifted. High-yield savings accounts and modern fintech platforms are paying between 5% and 5.5%. Let's do the math again. At a traditional bank, your $10,000 earns $1. In a high-yield account, that same $10,000 earns $550. That is $549 for doing absolutely nothing. That is a free car payment, a month of groceries, or a luxury weekend getaway. Gone, just because you were too comfortable to move your money. Leaving that much cash in checking isn't being responsible. It's being expensive. But the trap isn't just about the interest rates. It's about your brain. There is a psychological phenomenon known as availability bias. This bias dictates that humans give more importance to information that is immediately visible to them. When you open your bank app to buy a coffee or check a bill, and you see $15,000 in your primary account, your brain receives a hit of dopamine. It tells you, we are rich. We have an abundance of resources. This subconsciously lowers your spending friction. That $200 pair of shoes or that expensive dinner out suddenly seems reasonable because, after all, you have $15,000. Research shows that you are up to 30% more likely to say yes to unnecessary purchases when that money is visible in your primary spending account. By keeping too much in checking, you are effectively sabotaging your own discipline. You need a system that creates spending friction by moving your wealth out of sight so your brain stays in management mode rather than spending mode. So, how do you actually structure your wealth in 2026? You stop using one giant everything account and you move to the 3-bucket system. Bucket number 1 is your operating hub. This is your checking account, and it is strictly for transit. Money comes in from your paycheck, and money goes out for your bills. In 2026, the rule is simple. Keep exactly 1 month of living expenses here, plus a $1,000 buffer. That's it. This keeps your dopamine levels low and your financial discipline high. When you see a smaller balance, you naturally become more defensive with your spending. Bucket number 2 is your opportunity vault. This is your safety net and your short-term goal fund. This is where you move 3 to 6 months of essential living expenses. In 2026, you shouldn't be using a brick-and-mortar bank for this. You use an online-only high-yield account. Think Wealthfront, SoFi, or even the Apple Savings platform. These accounts have 0 fees and provide the highest rates in the country. This money is 100% safe, it's liquid enough to grab in an emergency, and most importantly, it actually beats inflation. Bucket number 3 is your wealth engine. This is where you stop being a saver and start being an investor. Anything above your emergency fund goes here. You put this into a low-cost index fund that tracks the total stock market. Historically, the market returns 7 to 10% over the long haul. While the money in bucket number 1 shrinks and the money in bucket number 2 stays level, the money in bucket number 3 compounds. In 2026, the gap between those who save and those who invest is wider than it has ever been in history. You have to decide which side of that gap you want to be on. The secret to actually making this work in 2026 isn't willpower, it's automation. We live in an era of AI-driven finance, so use it. Go into your bank app today and set up what's called a sweep rule. You can literally tell your bank, anytime my checking balance goes over $3,000, automatically sweep the extra into my opportunity vault. Then, set a recurring transfer from your vault to your wealth engine on the day you get paid. When you automate your finances, you remove human error. You remove the choice to spend that money on something else. You stop trying to save and you start guaranteeing wealth. The traditional big bank model is designed to profit off your laziness. They want you to keep your cash sitting idle so they can use it to build their empire. Don't let them do it. Don't let your hard work fund their skyscrapers while you struggle to keep up with inflation. Move your money today. It takes less than 5 minutes to open a high-yield account. It takes 2 minutes to set up an auto transfer. That 7 minutes of effort today could be worth tens of thousands of dollars to your future self over the next decade. I've put a list of my top-rated high-yield accounts for 2026 in the description below, so you can get started right now. Stop being a victim of the checking account trap. Get your money working as hard as you do. If you found this narration helpful, hit the like button so we can reach more people who are being robbed by their banks. And if you're ready to take the next step, watch this next video on how to build a 6-figure portfolio starting with just $100 a week. I'll see you there.